IPMNation.com.
Live from the Counterpunch Studios in Columbus, Ohio, you're listening to All Natural Being with Brian Brawdy on IPMNation.com. If you're not going to Mortal Up, why not just stay in bed?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
This is not a drill.
All Natural Being. Warning, All Natural Being with Brian Brawdy is designed to shake your sense of self to the core.
It's full contact psychology with an empowering twist, a philosophical loofah for your soul.
For those of you not ready or comfortable releasing your inner superhuman, listener discretion is advised.
Here's your host,
Brian Brawdy.
Welcome. Let me do this quickly. Thank you so very much for stopping by. Now, and hanging out, believe it or not, for the 447th episode. Got a lot of cool things going on today. 447th episode of the #1 rated all-natural being and the gong heard round the world. Your snooze alarm's sworn enemy, taking a blood oath. Radio that sparks your smart, broadcast that builds your strong and unleashes your legendary, because if you're fortunate enough to still be vertical, you've got a legendary to let loose. So, to that end, we're serving up the best thoughts in the history of thinking. So what do you say? Here's your opportunity to mortal up, to crush your cant and your critics. It's time. Oh boy, it's time. So let's go kick in some doors. And I have so many things. You know, we talk about free rant Fridays or free form Fridays or, things like that. So what I said this morning in the post over on Facebook and Twitter, and I don't know if we put posts up on YouTube, but what I said over there very simply was, hey, wait a minute. Hey, racket getting caught up here. What I said very simply is this is freeform, right? So whatever you want to talk about. So I thought one of our first texts in, at least at the top of the queue this morning, Hi, it's Shane. I'm a hugger, and I would have no problem hugging you. And your point about all these Me Too folks taking away from actual victims, I think he says he likes that point. Thin-skinned people are ruining the love of life and the love of others, or the right to love others. Some people just suck. So obviously, thank you very much for your thoughts, Shane. That had a little bit to do with yesterday and this whole sense of me too. So a continuation of yesterday and the lowlifes making headlines, all those people that don't want to be hugged, the people that don't want you to open the door for them, the people that don't let you, like one of the things I love to do is just drive around. Oh, speaking of driving around, don't let me forget to talk to you about driving around. Well, I might as well just do it right now, and then I'll come back to what I love to do driving around. Today's probably my last day, and you're thinking, oh, Bri, how can you give up driving? Well, until they get ready to spackle me up, until they get ready to put some Bondo, some Gorilla Glue, some duct tape, whatever you want to call it, here in a few weeks, the powers that be I've decided this is probably a good idea that I give up driving. Now, I know you're thinking, oh, well, you won't be able to hop in the car and run down to and get some Timbits or, whatever it is that I like to do during the day. You won't be able to do all that. Well, what they theorize now is I'm better off with a chauffeur. Right? I love being chauffeured. I love to say, oh, yes, please, I'd like to go here. I'd like to go there. It's like having my own personal Uber, my own personal Lyft. What would you like to do today? Oh, I think I'd like to go to Home Depot. Well, you don't know anything about power tools. I go, yeah, but I just like all the flashing lights, right? So Home Depot for me is like Las Vegas. If you're a gambler and you love to go to Vegas, that's what it's like for me at Home Depot. Like, if I see all these cool things, would I really be able to figure out, right? It's a gamble. Would I really be able to figure out how to use all these cool tools, right? But now, as today goes, I will officially be chauffeured around so that I'm not. Here's why. One of the things that seems to go when the fluid drops in me is not so much peripheral vision. Like I don't want anyone to think, oh, he can't see the things going on around him. It's not that at all. What happens is kind of like my awareness. Like I find myself, I'm not aware of my six. I'm not a situational awareness, if you're familiar with the term. Well, I just lose most of mine. So instead of being in a situation where I'm like, oh, okay, great, I have no situational awareness. Yeah, I never saw that puddle of water before I soaked everybody waiting on the bus. You forget that I hollered shrimp trawler. He does have amnesia. So what they've decided is that I will be chauffeured now, not just leading up to my day at the spa, right, the Columbus Cranium Shack and Needle Emporium, not just the Dremel Hut. I guess I could call it the Dremel Hut for Dremel tools. See, I know what's going on at Home Depot. So for leading up to the surgery and then some inordinate amount of time thereafter, I'm having, right, my driver's license will be expired before they let me drive again. Who are we kidding? So that'll be good to give me plenty of time to get a new driver's license. So look at that. All right, let's hop into the thread this morning. Say good morning to everyone. Kathy, how are you? Marcellus, Henry, nice to see you, brother. I was planning on giving you a call this morning, Henry. We've got some big news to talk about, huge news to talk about. And I'd make mention of it now, but I just talked to Wayne a little bit ago, and he's like, Brian, don't you say anything about YouTube on this morning. Don't mention the word anything until he has a chance to work out all the technical glitches, right, and everything else. But huge news over on YouTube, but I'm not allowed to say anything about it, just like I'm not going to be able to drive. But Henry, I'd like to give you a holler a little later this morning because we've got coming up here before too long the International Block Party, the 13 on the 13th, 1 week from tomorrow, 13 hours, and I wanted to talk to you about that, but we'll catch up a little bit later. Marcellus, good morning to you as well. Nice to see you. And Kathy, as you know, I don't know whereabouts you are in Ohio, but I hope the weather is as warm for you. Thank you, Henry. I hope the weather is as warm for you today as it is. I think it's warm here. I don't feel frozen here in the studios. All right, so here's the thing. I have to be chauffeured around, right? They're a little worried. They're like, yeah, you know what? You're not a great driver with a full complement of spinal fluid. When you're draining spinal fluid, who knows what you're up to? So I'm like, okay, I'll be chauffeured around and this and that. So that begins today. And so Monday we have a huge announcement that I'm not allowed to announce today because Wayne said, don't wait, do not wait, and you have to. Don't even say YouTube. So what we'll be doing is we'll be announcing that on Monday. Huge news. And I want to thank Wayne because we wouldn't be in a position to have this huge news if it weren't for a lot of his technical expertise. So a shout out to Wayne Noel as well. Good morning to Lee Rowley. Nice to see you, Lee. And Jen. Nice to see you, Jen Durecki. Thank you for joining us here at All Natural Being. All right, so it's Free Form Fridays, which means you can call, you can text, you can just get a hold of me however you want to. Here's the QR code. 833 mind-ups, just like push-ups or sit-ups or pull-ups. 833-646-3877. Of course, it's a toll-free call. And then also, if you want to text us, you're welcome to text. Now, there's this little legal thing that I'm supposed to say, 15 miles north of Cincinnati, so that's just like a little bit south of us, Kathy. That's good to know. I'm supposed to say that technical things apply. All right, so we'll just do that. You should know that if you call or if you text into All Natural Being, standard data and roaming charge usage things apply. All right, so there's that little thing out of the way. But here's what we're going to do just to beat back the man. I don't know who the man is in this case, but to beat back the man, if you say, oh, yeah, but I'd really like to get this text in. I want to counter what's been said already this morning. then I will go ahead and what's it make me, like 3 pennies, a couple cents, a nickel, a dime? Let me know, and you just say, hey, Bri, here's my phone bill because I texted into the show. They charged me, and we'll go ahead and bang you out. We'll get you, whatever it was. So we'll cover. So technically, we're one of the few places where that doesn't even apply, right? Because it's free to you because I'll send you a dime in the mail. Can you imagine going out to the mailbox, opening an envelope, and you open it, and all of a sudden something falls on the ground? You go, what the hell? What was that? And you look down and you go, oh, there's a shiny dime. Well, that's what I'll do. I'll send you a shiny dime if you get billed for texting the show. So don't forget 833-646. Oh, let me pull it up because I'll forget it. 3877, right? It wrote it down here somewhere, but that's it. You know where to go. All right. So Kathy, 15 miles north of Cincinnati. Cool. Lee, good morning to you as well. I also want to thank Eric from yesterday because, and I talked to Henry about this a lot, and Lee as well. But, I really, coming out of this, coming out of my little neuronal pedicure that I'm getting ready for is the realization that I'm not going to be a rock climber anytime soon, right? I'm not going to be working the high wires, the high power tension wires. They're probably not going to let me be an airline pilot. My days of being a copper over, kickboxer done, deadlifter gone, right? So if I'm going to experience deadlifting, I'll have to do it through Derek Noel, like vicariously. Like I'll be channeling the Derek Noel as he gets to do his deadlifting because I don't get to do it anymore. Oh yeah, and speaking of Derek Noel, now he's got a top 5 show here on IPMNation.com across the entire platform. Moved in at number 5 yesterday, I believe it was. So congratulations to Derek and all of his team. I think it'll show up in Sunday nights, 8 p.m., I think. So if you have a chance to tune in, and don't forget, he's here every Monday morning. He'll be here Monday morning giving us some tips, some tricks, some techniques, some things like that. So congratulations to him for making it up into the top 5. All right, so we're getting back to one of the things that I wanted to kick around this morning. I'm being chauffeured, which is great. So I won't get to catch people in the crosswalk and lay on the horn. And I remember one time, and again, right, amnesia, maybe I do, maybe I don't, maybe I did, maybe I didn't. But someone was crossing the crosswalk and I rolled down a window. And back in the day when I could do this, right? I'm an old guy now. I can't do it anymore. But I let out a pig squeal, right? See, I can't do it anymore. I got to get a sound effect of a pig squeal. Yeah, but so I let out a pig squeal, and the person just stopped, like Bellucci in Animal House when he's in the middle, right when he's right outside of the sorority. They put their hands up and they go, "Oh my God, where did the pig get loose?" But I guess I'm saying my days of that are over now, at least for the foreseeable future. Because look, let's be honest. If you're going to chauffeur me around, you got the child locks on in the back seat. You're just you're not going to drive me around and go, wait a minute, we let Brian roll down the window? What the heck were we thinking? So that's not going to happen. But I am excited because I get to text and listen to books. I love Audible. I get to listen to books on tape. I get to read some of I might be reading Henry's latest article, sitting in the back seat being chauffeured around. You don't know. But I absolutely love it. I got a place for my pop or whatever, right? I could be drinking wheatgrass juice powder, but so I got a place for my drink, and it'll just be great. So that'll kick in. Here later today. I think I'm going to try to steal a car and get out and about, just maybe even joyride around the neighborhood, maybe clip a garbage can or two if there's any out there. So if you live in this area and you go, I wonder what happened. Why are all these garbage cans all of a sudden knocked over the middle of the street? You go, oh, well, then Brian's been out driving around. So I may be looking to do that. Henry says, maybe you just need to slip down here. Oh, my good. You know what, Henry? Nothing would make me happier. Well, I have to tell you, one thing comes close. I would love to come and hang out with you in Coinco. Oh, and I would love to hang out not only in the mountains, but down on the beach as well. But I don't, it's someone you know and love, but since I didn't tell them and I was going to use their name on the show, then I probably won't say, but someone volunteered to make me a coconut cream pie. Yeah. All I have to do is drive a little bit of ways to pick it up. A real coconut cream pie from scratch pre-surgery. So that I got to figure that out. I don't know if I can get the chauffeur to drive me all the way that distance, but we'll see. Good morning to Karen. Karen, thank you so very much. Marcella says, that's right. Slip down to Henry's Oasis and rub some sun on your face. Not only would I rub some sun on my face, I just, we're doing this whole thing. Someone said the other day that, well, what is this post about you running around barefoot in the grass? Well, doctors are catching up to stuff Henry's been telling me for quite a while now, is that you do great when you're connected to the earth, right? And I don't know if everyone here in the thread knows this, but Antaeus Universal, the company that Henry heads, and is the sponsor for a lot of what we do here, not only on BrianBrody.com, but All Natural Being. Antaeus Universal comes from the Greek myth Antaeus, right? He's a badass, hasn't been beaten, like 150 million to 0. He's never lost a fight. So then when they were giving Hercules all those tasks, they're like, oh yeah, we'll fix his wagon. We know how to get a hold of Hercules. We'll make him wrestle Antaeus. Right? So Hercules is going, man, it's like the stables weren't enough. I had to do all these other things. There's the Hydra. I'm fighting left and right. I'm doing all this superhuman kind of stuff. Now I got to go wrestle this nut job. So Hercules figures out, wait a minute. So like he's half God, half human, like we all are, right? So he's a superhuman. But it's interesting. He draws his power from the earth, right? He draws his power from the earth. He goes, wait a minute. His mom's the earth. So maybe that's where he gets his power. So what does Hercules do? If you all know, Hercules goes in, lifts Antaeus up off the ground. Now he's not grounded, doesn't have any power. Beats him. His first loss ever. Antaeus' first loss. Hercules causes him to tap out. So all I'm saying is that myth is not only a great myth, a great story, a cautionary tale about being separated, about being ungrounded from the earth. So now that doctors are lining up, and I shared a post the other day saying some of the best things you can do, as Marcella says, slip down to Henry's Oasis and rub some sun on your face and some sand in between your toes, because doctors now say that the energy of the earth itself, they're talking about electricity now, the actual energy, the actual vibe of the earth is great for the human body, great for the human immune system, so that when you can, and even though I got a lot of crap for it when I took off actually I didn't take off my pants and my shoes. They hid them from me after my last procedure. So I was out running around the backyard in boxers and bare feet. And they were giving me a hard time. Someone said Sasquatch or this and that, I don't know, and everything else. But there's really something to it about being grounded to the earth. So I'm sorry, Marcellus, that was a long way to go for that bit, but I'm absolutely into that myth, and also the thought that maybe now that spring is coming here, and in certain parts of the world, summer's on its way. Maybe it would do us a bit of good to just kick back from time to time, kick off the flip-flops, and hang out on the earth. Whether it's grass, whether it's sand, whatever it is, hang out on the earth with just your bare feet and see if these doctors are right. See if you feel better. See if it lowers your blood pressure. See if it does all the things they say it will. So I'm looking forward to that as well, Marcellus. Lee says, let me know. We'll go on a pie capturing mission with the windows down. Lee, you are too kind to me. Thank you very much. So, Wayne, if you're listening, you don't get that coconut cream pie all to yourself, brother. I've got a volunteer, and he did it here in public. Let me know. We'll go on a pie capturing mission with the windows down. You know what it reminds me of, Lee? Remember the movie What About Bob? Remember that movie? Richard Dreyfuss was the psychiatrist, and I think Bill Murray played Bob, and they tied him to the mast of the ship. They duct taped him and chained him down and everything else. And then he comes on camera, and Bill Murray goes, I'm sailing. So Lee's offered to drive me. This would be great. Oh, you know what, Lee? I'll bring 2 forks so we can drive back and eat pie. But can you just see me going down the road with my head out like one of those dogs where the wind grabs their jowls and they're just flapping all over the place? That'll be me. And we got to catch that on video. Henry says, Earth under your feet and the Milky Way above your head is a mind-blowing experience. Do you know what? I have to tell you this. Whenever I think of Henry, whenever I think of some of the places he gets to travel to, and it's probably, if he could comment here, and he'll tell the truth. Henry will always tell you the truth. One of the very first things I ever asked him when I found out where he lived, one of the very first things was, what does the Milky Way look like? Because the times I've gotten to be able to see it, thank you, Lee, very much, the times that I've been away from light pollution, right? Which philosophically, you and I could say it's the same thing as like noise pollution, when you have people constantly telling you what you should do, what you should wear, how you should feel, where you should go, where you shouldn't go, that kind of thing. But if it's not philosophical pollution, it's light pollution, where there's so much light coming at you in cities and suburbs that you look up and you can't even see a fraction, the tiny, tiny sliver of all the stars. So one of the first things I ever asked Henry was like, hey, what's the Milky Way like by you? So I absolutely agree. I imagine it's just beautiful. All right, let's do this quickly. Oh, I want to make mention of because I think it's going pretty good, our Up in 30 guarantee. Up in 30 guarantee means by the top of the hour, now just about 40 minutes away, you'll be able to get today's show live on ipmnation.com/thebry. So that's our Up in 30 guarantee. So there isn't any lag time. If you're like, oh man, I was a little late, I was running behind, I'd love to figure out what everyone was talking about today. That's our Up in 30 guarantee. We'll be ready to go by 8 o'clock. Also, don't forget, a week from tomorrow is IPM Nation's International Block Party. Let me thank Matt Connerton. Let me also thank Jenny and everyone at IPM Nation to saying, yeah, let's do this. And we're going to be broadcasting live. All of our guests, all of our show hosts, and some other really cool people are going to be coming on with us, and we'll be broadcasting live, but we're going to be broadcasting live to the IPMNation.com page, and then with Wayne's expertise, it'll be going out to Twitter and YouTube, and knowing Wayne, he'll probably have it going out to Twitch and any other feed there is. So we've got that. That'll be a week from tomorrow, and expect a phone call. It's coming in soon to book your time to be able to come in and hang with us. That's what we'll be up to. All right. And also, don't forget, maybe I can talk Lee into this. We'll have the mortalup.com. Maybe I'll get some door magnets or something like that, Lee, that we can put on and be drawing attention. But I'll be doing the sign thing. We'll be putting out some of those areas. So if you happen to drive by, give us a beep. Let us know what you're up to. But mortalup.com, we are moving ahead with that. No two ways about it. All right, let's do this. How about this one?
What's on the menu for the next 30 minutes? Well, we play less music than any other radio station in the morning, guaranteed. That's our If It's Your Favorite Song, You'll Never Hear It Here promise.
I have to tell that. Yeah, you're not tuning in here to hear your favorite song. Who am I kidding? That's our, you listen to the radio, some of these things, and they go, oh, you will hear your favorite song, guaranteed. Yeah, well, guaranteed you are never going to hear your favorite song on here. Oh, speaking of favorite songs, another shout out to Eric this morning. Thank you so much for coming by yesterday. I think this is where I started down this rabbit hole, which is just my mind now, one big rabbit hole. But when I started down this rabbit hole, Eric came over yesterday and we started working on some sound effects and different additions to the board and all these other things. So it reminds me, whenever I get a chance to hang with Eric, how little I really know, right? Like this guy is he's brilliant. And I'll say, well, how about this? How about that? And he goes, well, Brad, that's why they're sound engineers. He goes, most people are smart enough not to do a show like this unless they have someone sitting across the way being the sound engineer, but you're just like doing it all. So you need to learn some of this stuff. So I really am appreciative of all the time that I get to spend with Eric. So thank you very much for that. And again, it's humbling because you go, what? He said in my comment yesterday, okay, now this over here is the wet side. This is the dry side. And my first thought was, right, as one would, my first thought was, why are we talking about martinis? Wet or dry? I'm trying to do sound effects. So it was an uphill battle from the moment he got here, but thank you, Eric, very much for putting up with it. Henry says, the Milky Way is breathtaking. It is the greatest symbolism, placing us in perspective. I absolutely agree. And Henry, that's why I said to you early on, what's it like by you, right? What is it all? Just how many stars can you see? Can you reach out? Can you touch it? Can you feel it? And in those times where I've been fortunate enough to get far enough away, I just love lying on it. Forget about taking my shoes off and having my feet on the ground. I just love lying on the ground, looking up and taking in the Milky Way. So you're very, very fortunate, my friend. Very, very fortunate. All right, so we talked a little bit earlier, and we want to do this before we get out of here. We talked a little earlier about light pollution. Well, from time to time, and what if we do it today as a 20-minute victory? What if you decide, hey, for the next 20 minutes, no philosophical pollution, no pollution from chatterdom, right? So what that means is your still small voice, just like the lights of the Milky Way, your still small voice is blocked out, right? It's overlit by all the noise, all the chatterdom, all the committee vote, all the thumbs up, all the retweets, all those other things. So your still small voice, like the lights of a Milky Way in the big city, it's still there. They're still there. The Milky Way doesn't go away. It's still there. It's just there's so much light pollution, you and I can't see it. Well, same with your still small voice, which is why, Henry, when you say it's breathtaking, apparently driving skills are the first thing to go, and then just even saying a word like breathtaking. Or pollution. Did you catch that? It took me a couple tries to get that out. But Henry says it's the greatest symbolism. And I believe because it's just like your still small voice. It's in there. It's ready to go all the time. It's just drowned out. Noise pollution, chatterdom, the static, as I call it all the time, the static quo. But what if for the next 20 minutes you worked and you decided to put your heart's highest priority top of the list, end of discussion? You're going to let that still small voice in. No light pollution, no noise pollution. No static, no nothing. And you're going to put your heart's highest priority top of the list. Now, all the critics are going to line up and go, you can't do that. That's selfish. What, for 20 minutes a day, 1/72 of your day, it's your position. You don't have the right to be selfish? Come on. Life is about doing the things that you love to do, of putting your heart's highest priority top of the list. Going back to Shane's text from earlier, thin-skinned people are ruining the love of life. Think about it. If you're in a position... And we didn't even get to this morning's low life making headlines. We'll save that for Monday. If you're in the position to have life, your run here in the labyrinth, the ups, the downs, the lefts, the rights, the pivots, the swerves, the flukes and the whims, the sheer synchronicity and serendipity of it all, if you're thrown in the middle here in the garden of the mortals itself, and you're going to be derailed from that fun. You're going to be excommunicated from just the thrill of being here. As Henry says, it's just breathtaking. The breathtaking brilliance that is you in this life. If you're going to be derailed from that over the words of some thin-skinned little balsa wood-spined, brittle-brained nut job, why would you let that happen? Why would you let the thrill of life itself be ruined by the opinion of some idiot? And that's all I'm saying is today, maybe for 20 minutes, 20-minute victory, you could go, yeah, I'm going to block out all the noise pollution. I'm going to block out all the light pollution, and I'm going to wait to see. I'm going to wait to hear that still small voice. I'm going to wait to hear that whisper. I'm going to wait to hear the vibration of my own heart. And what would that mean to your life? My position is instantly puts a smile on your face. And I'll bet, Henry, if you can comment here in the closing minutes, I'll bet you at times when you're underneath the Milky Way down in Cuenca and you look up, especially up on the mountains, you look up. Am I right to say that at times you can't tell if you're seeing it or you're feeling it? And that's all I'm talking about with your still small voice. That's all I'm talking about, the vibration, right? The vibe. The frequency of your heart's highest priority. Will you put it on the top of your list? I think you can feel it. And I think that changes. Talk about being grounded to the earth. How about being grounded to your own spine? No balsa wood. What do we say all the time? Rebarb. Remember? Rebarb spine. If you can do that, then that has to put a smile on your face. All right, let me thank everyone for joining us again this morning. Marcellus says, I want to see it from where my cousin lives in Ecuador. Marcellus, I bet you Ijerba would love it for you to be there. Unplug yourself from all the opinions, Henry says, approvals and criticisms, and dial into yourself. I love that. You know what? And the dial into yourself, Henry, that's a brilliant way to put it. Don't send your heart's highest calling to voicemail. Oh, I'm too busy right now. Yeah, can you just send that call through to voicemail? No, don't do that. Henry says, no problems, concerns, or others' opinions, and get to meet yourself. Yeah, so if your heart's highest priority is calling, why send it to voicemail? Why? Maybe today is the day, a 20-minute victory. Maybe today is the day you say, no, put that call through. I got it. Yeah, I want to hear what my heart's highest priority has to say. All right, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. Thank you all so very much for joining us. Again, big news coming on Monday about what I'm not supposed to say about YouTube, but Wayne will clear me to say that come Monday morning. And I'm fired up to see Monday morning how your weekend went, what you did, and I'll let you in on what my first day is like being chauffeured around. So if you get a chance, stop back on Monday morning. Don't forget you can check us out. Where are we checking? What are we doing here? Oh, let's see here.
Brian Brawdy on IPMNation.com, The Bri.
IPMNation.com, the Bri, of course, you can catch us over there. And Ryan says, noise pollution causes a rift, an interruption in the way people exist in life. We must meditate to feel the energy of our soul and not let pollution get to us. Ryan, I wish I could give that like 400 likes right in a row. I most certainly agree. Marcella says, hey, be careful out there. A throwback, one of my favorite shows, Hill Street Blues, when the old Sarge would get up there and go, hey, 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 hey. Be careful out there. Thank you, Marcellus, very much. Henry says you can breathe the Milky Way in. You can, good golly, you can actually feel the energy. That's what I'm talking about. Henry, thank you very much for the thought. Kathy, you have a great weekend as well. All right, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. We will see you back bright and early Monday morning. Have an absolutely fantastic weekend.
You've been listening to All Natural Being with Brian Brawdy.
Join us live every Monday through Friday, 7 to 8 a.m. Eastern.
Also, check us out around the clock at allnaturalbeing.com.
Until then, always remember to bring your own bold.
IPMNation.com.